All right, calling all you people out, all you boys and girls, your boys back. Part two of the 2021 Eagles season video blog. This one is about the Eagles road games that are going to be occurring. We got 9 of them this year, the first time ever. So I'm just going to count down and give you a breakdown of the games I recommend to go to this year. You already know number one is Vegas for the Raiders Eagles October 24th, but I'm going to break down all 9 of the road games. I'm going to rank them from worst to first, as usual, like I did last year, even though we couldn't have fans last year ultimately. So without further ado, let's get this started. All right. So I put in, you'll see in the red marker, got a new red marker for tonight. The worst one, number 9, is January 2nd, weeks of the 17th game at the Racists. Now, again, there's no point in going to Landover, Maryland in January on New Year's weekend. This is horrible. There's, again, no reason to go there. The weather's going to be terrible. Maybe you go there for the day if you live in Philadelphia, because maybe we're in the playoff chase and the Redskins are hopefully, or the Racists are probably out at that point. And hopefully it'll be all Eagles fans like it was a couple years back. And it usually is for most Eagles racist games in DC. So that's number 9. I strongly recommend do not go to that game at all. All right, so moving to number 8, at the Giants, November 28th. That is the Sunday after Thanksgiving. That is the worst travel day of the year. Do you really want to go up the New Jersey Turnpike and go to the Meadowlands, the swamps of New Jersey for Eagles and the Giants? No, you don't. You don't. So steer clear of Giants and racists. All right, now let's go to number 7. At the New York Jets. Ironically enough, we play at the Meadowlands back-to-back weeks. Now, this is number 7, December 5th. The only redeeming quality about this Eagles at Jets game, the Eagles have never lost to the Jets, so we can continue that streak. And I guess you could possibly go into New York for the start of the Christmas season, stay for the weekend in New York City, go to the Eagles Jets, and then head home after the game if you're going to Philadelphia. But really, I wouldn't recommend any of those 3 games. No. I guess the Jets game, though, we Eagles probably win. We don't play them often, but again, I wouldn't go to any of these 3 games. So now moving to the top 6. Now, I would say there's a big jump now from 7 to 6. All of the top 6 games, in my mind, are worth going. But I'll try to break down the factors I balance to delineate and distinguish between 1 to 6. So, number 6, at the Cockroaches in Dallas on Monday night, September 27th. All right, so here's the pros of this. It's late September, so shouldn't be super hot down there in Dallas. It's a Monday night, so it's partially a good thing, partially a bad thing. In the sense of if you're missing work, if you have a normal work schedule, this is tough because you have to miss work Monday and Tuesday. But on the flip side, you don't have to even stay, if you make it a weekend, you don't have to stay in Dallas. There is a Texas A&M at Texas game in Austin. Austin is an amazing town. I strongly recommend checking out Austin. So if you can make it a weekend, don't even go to Dallas until Sunday. Just spend the weekend in Austin, go to the UT game, stay in Austin. It's a phenomenal town, and then make your way to Dallas on Sunday night. Maybe you go out in Dallas for one night, then you go to the game on Monday. So, but it's a little disjointed when you have those Monday night games because there's not much to do that Monday. When you wake up, what do you do for the whole day? It's kind of like a wasted day. So that's why it falls at number 6. All right, number 5, at the Lions on Halloween. Now, Detroit, abomination to mankind. I actually went to the Eagles-Lions game back in 2004 in Detroit where the Eagles won 30-13. It was the Terrell Owens year. We went to the Super Bowl. And Detroit it's a beautiful stadium, but the Detroit itself is horrible. But I will say that weekend, what makes it a little bit better is you could go to the Michigan at Michigan State game in Lansing on Saturday. And a Halloween weekend game in Michigan between those 2 schools and being able to party at the school, that sounds fun to me. And I think that's something that could make the weekend a lot better than you normally might think it would be. Plus, Eagles at Lions, you're high likelihood the Eagles win that game. So that makes, obviously, the whole weekend much, much better. All right, so let's go into the top four. All right, number four, at the Falcons, September 12th. All right, now the reason, I know this is obviously very short notice because the game obviously is this Sunday, but I will say again, you sort of want to combine if you can, like you make it into a weekend. Atlanta's a huge city. You can go to a University of Georgia game in Athens, Georgia. They're playing at home on that Saturday, the day before the Eagles Falcons game. Also, if you wanted to go to a baseball game, the Atlanta Braves are also home that weekend. Atlanta's a very easy flight to get to since there's so many flights going into Atlanta as a major city. So that's why it lands at number four. Also, it's opening day for the Eagles season. The first game that you could go to as fans, pretty much for the Eagles since the end of the 2019 season. So that, and it's also in a dome, so you don't have to worry about being really hot and humid. The Mercedes-Benz Stadium is a dome, so you'll be comfortable going to that one. So that's why it's number four, but it doesn't crack the top three for me. So let's move to number three, at the Panthers. Now, this is October 10th, so the weather in Charlotte is a little bit more bearable there. It actually should be really nice there in Charlotte. And again, thinking of it as combining with like a college football game, I can tell you Florida State plays at the University of North Carolina in Durham, not too far from Charlotte. So you can make that a weekend. And Charlotte also, you could make work going to, if you drove a little farther, to another college football game in another city, because there's just so many colleges in that area outside of Charlotte. So also at the Panthers is not a place the Eagles play often. And again, one little bonus, the Panthers are not supposed to be good this year, so it's more likely than not the Eagles could pull off a W there, which again makes the weekend pretty good. So it's close between Atlanta and Carolina as far as where I'd rank them, but I gave Carolina the slight edge just because the Eagles may, or at least would be more likely to win there than otherwise. Okay, so then we're going to the top two now. You already know number one. It's going to be Vegas. I'll talk about that a lot, but let's move to number two. Number two, at the Broncos, November 14th. Again, a place that we hardly ever play. Once every 8 years, we go to Denver. So it's a place that has been a house of horrors. The Eagles have been blown out the last three times. I double-checked this. Last three times we played in Denver, we have been destroyed. We lost in 2013 to Peyton Manning and the Broncos. They dropped 50 on us. In 2005, Jake Plummer lit us up for 49 points. I mean, we lost 49-21. That was the year after the Super Bowl season. And then if you go way back to 1998, the Broncos destroyed us in their Super Bowl winning season back when the Eagles were 3-13 and in 1998. You have to go back to 1989 for the last time the Eagles won in Denver. It was a 28-24 Eagles win with Randall Cunningham at quarterback. So yeah, you have to go back a long ways for the Eagles to have won in Denver, or even kept it close for that matter. They have been blown out the last three times in Denver. But what makes the game pretty interesting is Denver's a great town. If you haven't been to, it's very unique. And if you want it, November 14th is the game, and that is right on the edge of the opening of ski season. Some mountains will be open in the Rockies for skiing, and some won't be yet. It may be touch and go based on if they get snow in that time frame. Maybe they open it a little early. And also Colorado State, if you wanted to go to a football game, Colorado State hosts Air Force in Colorado Springs that Saturday, the day before the game. Also, if you didn't want to do that, go to Boulder. Boulder is an awesome, awesome town just to walk around and go to bars and restaurants there. I highly recommend Boulder. So it's a really great town. You can check also if there's concerts that weekend, but it's also the Red Rocks Amphitheater is a beautiful place to see. The weather really is, though, touch and go in Denver, middle of November. You could have a really warm day, and you could have heavy snow. So you just don't know. But it's a great place. I recommend it only because the Eagles only play there once every 8 years. So all right, let's go to number one. The Las Vegas Raiders, October 24th, 1 o'clock local here in Vegas. This is the no-brainer for so many reasons. It's going to be a wild weekend already in Vegas. That is the weekend of the Electric Daisy Carnival, which is a massive EDM music festival they have at the Motor Speedway on the northern end of Las Vegas. That is basically a 3-day I shouldn't say 3 day, 3 overnight festival where you can see all different DJs playing music, and they have a different like portion of the speedway where you different kinds of EDM music, whether you like trance or like more pop dance music. So for those of you who aren't familiar, you should look it up. But it's like the biggest EDM festival in the world. So I highly recommend that. They start at sunset, I think around sunset, and then it goes overnight, and then it stops around like 7 or 8 in the morning, and then it resumes the next night at sunset and going until 7 or 8 in the morning. So it is a really really cool experience. Even if you don't love the music, I like it. I don't love it, but I highly recommend. All right. Obviously, it goes without saying too. If you come here that weekend, you can watch all the college football games at the sports books. I recommend the Circa Stadium Swim area, where it's just a massive pool area where they have a bunch of different screens. You can lay by the pool. The pool is heated year round. It is a great venue to watch college sports on that Saturday. Obviously, also you have all the shows, you have all the restaurants, you have all the nightclubs, you have the day clubs that are still probably on the edge of still going. October 24th, you may have a couple that still are open, but it's Vegas. There's so much to do. No matter what you like, you can golf too. The weather's going to be great at the end of October. So if you're a golfer, it's paradise. There'll be so many Eagles fans here. Even if you like hiking, you can go to Mount Charleston, 45 minutes away, where the weather will be great at the end of October. So there's just so much to do. It really is the game that Eagles fans are targeting to invade. And especially if the Raiders, which I think some people think they might be a little better than expected, or some people think worse than expected. But if the Raiders start out poorly and the Eagles start out well, you could be this could be one of those like 2003 game on Monday night in Miami when it was like 30, 40,000 Eagles fans there. It could be, I'm not sure anything could ever rival the 2017 game at the LA Chargers where it was two-thirds Eagles fans in the stadium. But it could be somewhat close to that. I mean, I think you really could get somewhere in the neighborhood of 20,000 Eagles fans at this Eagles Raiders game. So I can't stress it enough. It is going to be a great weekend. I know prices at the hotels are pretty expensive, but it's worth it. I really strongly recommend do a Friday morning landing here and then go back on Monday morning. Take 2 days off. If you have the normal work schedule, it really will be worth it. I can't recommend it enough. And again, the weather at the end of October is really nice. I mean, we're talking like in the 80s. It really is nice in Vegas at that time of year. So look into it. Look into flights. Plan now for the Eagle invasion of Las Vegas. And if there's any of these other games, though, they're from 1 to 6. I strongly recommend give it a shot if the dates work for you, and just steer clear of 7, 8, 9, and then we'll see by next year. But again, guys, October 24th, Las Vegas. Let's do it. All right, guys. We're getting close. We're 48 hours away from Cowboys Buccaneers, and we're only 5 days away from Eagles Falcons. Let's get it. All right. Vegas Eagles checking out. Go Birds, baby.